Hi, welcome back. It's part two of my campaign update and press release for this week, this Sunday, even though it's Monday now. Anyway, yesterday was just an unfortunate day. It did not happen the way it should. And so here we are now. Anyway, welcome back. So I guess, it was the 4th of July, and that's when we declared our independence from England. And, I want to just read through the initial and the ending part of this declaration, because I have a declaration of grievances and declaration of independence that I'm working on for current times, which echo a lot of the issues that were in the original Declaration of Independence. And so, we really need to think good and hard about what's going on in our country and ask ourselves if that's what we like. Is that really who we are as a country? Or is it time to update our system and work in a better way for all of us, the U.S. people? Okay, so it was issued July 4th, 1776, a declaration by the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress assembled. And I'm going to put my translation in there when we get to the words God and whatnot, so that you can understand how it feels to somebody who is not a God believer. And this is one of the things we need to do. I don't know what happened last century in the 50s, but somehow the word God was thrown even more around in our country than ever before. And we're supposed to be a non-religious country. People have religion, countries do not. And I highly recommend that we stay that way too, without a religion. But we've sadly been taken over by Christianity, and this has to stop, and it has to be reversed before we get too much further. But anyways, so it begins. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and the universe entitle them, a decent respect to the opinion of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. So that's what I'm planning on doing, and I'll be reading my declaration in Charleston on Wednesday morning, hopefully, if all goes well. Anyway, it says, I just want to go back to the paragraph in the middle. It says, the laws of nature, equal station to which the laws of nature and of, I said the universe. What is written here is the nature's and of nature's God. So if I were to directly translate that into my language, it would be and of nature's imaginary person. So I stepped it up because I understand what they're trying to say, and that's the universe. So I stepped it up to be nice and say universe instead of imaginary person. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And I want to say here that, they do go back and forth between saying men and people and all of this. So maybe they really meant men, looking at the documents now, it gets confusing, and maybe they did that on purpose. So again, if they're only talking about men being equal and men this and that, then what is this document to a woman? It's not. What is this independence to a woman? It's not. And that's what my document will be about, independence for women. So, all men, or is it saying all people are created equal? And what they mean by created equal is not that we're all created equal with the same intelligence and the same opportunities, but that we're each given gifts through our birth, how we're born, what we're given, and then also life experiences will create our own gifts too, and our own experiences. So created equal means, in my opinion, created, that all humans are created with specific gifts that they're bringing to the world at that time. That they are endowed by, and it says their creator. So I can go two ways with this. So for me, my creator was my mother and father. And there's no mystical person, imaginary friend out there that created me. My parents created me. I was created from humanity and the earth, and I go back to the earth at the end. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. So, that we are endowed by our creator, their creator. So that's true, endowed. So we are given life, we are given gifts from our parents too, and their extended families give gifts. So men are, or humans are, endowed. We are given opportunities by our parents. Sometimes you could change that, like I said, to the universe. But to name a person, an imaginary person, I don't think so. So, because so far no one's proven that there's a God. But I think we can all agree that there's something called nature. And there is the earth, and there is ourselves, and so we know we exist. But we don't know a God exists. We think we know a universe exists, and that's what I can say. So we are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator, or mother and father, with certain unalienable rights. So also the creator could be mothers and fathers everywhere. So sort of the elders with certain unalienable rights. And among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And these are and should be the rights that all humans get everywhere, equally, especially once you become an elder. After 18, you're an elder. I guess there's junior elder, and then there's middle elder, and then there's high elder, so to speak. So, we can really think about how this can be and how we can bring that to more people, because I don't think a lot of people are living the life that they wanted, have the liberties they wanted. I mean, I know women don't really have the liberties that they want. Pursuing happiness, that it depends on your circumstances. But, yeah. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted amongst men. Again, they mention men when we know sometimes they say people. So, are they really saying that this declaration is only for men, and men are going to be the instruments making it happen? Institutions? It's difficult to say. I mean, how important is that? I don't know. Can we change our opinion on that? Sure. Should we just rewrite it? Maybe. So, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. So men are given their just powers by the consent of the governed. Well, I can already tell you, we do not consent anymore. Us women, we've had enough. It's clear you men are out of control, spending more money on military. I mean, we are such a macho country at this point. We got, NSA, CIA, FBI, U.S. Marshals. Then we have that new one, Homeland Security. It's only 25 years old or 24 years old. Don't really know what they're doing. I think it's all a scheme. You men behave badly so that we have to have more police activity. And it's a good racket, and it is a racket that you're doing. So you let your children, your males especially, do whatever they want, and then they get into trouble, so then they have to be corrected, and yeah, it doesn't have to be that way, folks. I've seen something different. A country where it's not a macho country with police and border patrol and Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. We don't even, why do we have so many branches that go outside of the country? Let other countries defend themselves. It's time. We are not the police of the world. And from what I gather, nobody really wants that anyways. So, no. We have the National Guard, we have the Coast Guard, and we have Border Patrol. And we don't need really a lot more than that. So we need to rearrange our military and, get back to the pursuit of happiness part. That whenever a form of government, this is for you, Democrats and Republicans, truthfully, our government is not the problem, and our federal government is not the problem. It's the states, and it's the governors and Secretary of States, and it's technically really the elections and the Republicans and the Democrats. They're not letting anybody else have power, and they're making sure that the rest of us stay in line, and it's not with brute force. And I mean, there is time to use brute force, and then there's time to just use logic and get people to do your bidding without force. But that's a whole nother thing. So anyway, whenever any form of government, so Democrats and Republicans, become destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people. See, now here they say people, not men, to alter or to abolish it. To alter or abolish it. Yes, so it's time to get rid of the Democrats and Republicans. They've taken over our country, and they've really, taken us in my opinion, not a good way. and they're both corrupt. So, power corrupts. It's not pretty, and they have a stranglehold. They're not letting other parties in. So there's actually no need to start a new party, because we already have parties that have tried it before and they don't get in. So, I don't know. Elon, you might want to just put your energies someplace else. It's not the best idea. It is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government. So we do have this blessing. This is what our forefathers left to us, that if we feel that it is a destructive country, or destructive, we're being hostilely taken by others, we have the right to abolish it and to institute new government. So I say we need a new government, because half of our population isn't even being heard. I mean, more than half, because there's a lot of people who have been so pushed out and who are not being heard whatsoever, that they just refuse to be a part at all. And then you have people like me who are women, who refuse to accept the fact that there's this government that's not listening to us. And it's just time. Most countries do this over a period of time too, and it's just time for us to redo our government and reorganize a little. I mean, Donald Trump has started a little bit with like the aid that was going out, that we need aid here. We don't need it going abroad. Other countries can take care of themselves. And it's growing pains right now. So, we had a different lifestyle back when the country was created, and now we have a new lifestyle, and there's even something new on the horizon that I'll be introducing, mother's pay, and time to see motherhood as a career choice. So, with the Women's League, I think, is what it's going to be. But so we need to, and we have the approval to institute new government, and it's time. Laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. So safety and happiness is ultimately what it's supposed to be about. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable. So humans can adapt and experience life in different ways, and they can survive certain evils, and sometimes they'll even survive those evils because changing is sometimes difficult. That's what's coming up now. Then to right themselves, so to change by abolishing the form to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and violations and greed, pursuing invariably to the same objective, to show a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, so under absolute monarchy, absolute power and violations, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government. So now they're talking about the people. So that includes women. So we have the right, we have the duty to throw off such a government. So, such as the Democrats and Republicans. And to provide new guards for their future security. And so they need to set up a new system to guard their security and prosperity, safety and happiness. Such has been the patient suffrage of these colonies. And such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injustices and violations and power grabs, all having an indirect object, the establishment of absolute tyranny over these states. And that is what the Democrats and Republicans have done. They have absolute tyranny over our states. To prove this, let the facts be submitted to a candid world. And that's where I'll stop. And then what was happening there, a lot of it's happening now in our own country. So we've become the country that our country fought against, sadly, and it's time to stop. So that is the end of this reading of the first part of the Declaration of Independence. I'm going to stop, and then I'll read the second part, and then we'll move forward. Mostly, because this has something to do, too, with my lawsuit. As you know, I mean, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know what's going on. So, anyways, part 2 coming soon, or is it part 3? I don't know. Anyway, bye for now.